Hello, and welcome to another episode of Okay Karen.
Okay, Karen.
We got some more Okay Karens.
Okay, Karen.
Okay, Karen.
Yes.
So as y'all can tell,
We did not prepare them. We did not prepare ourselves. That was our fault. We did not tell them what we were doing.
And they're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Everybody have another drink of wine.
It's more than just the two Karens. We have some
four
really
Karens.
Great friends. Yes, 4. Tonight's our high school edition. So we invited our great friends from high school, Amber Romano Ladner and Teresa Rizal Keel. Yeah. And of course, still Angela and Betsy.
Now, it's been almost exactly a year since we saw each other in person.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
At our get together. My Facebook memories have come up and I'm like, oh, I just saw those girls a year ago.
Was really,
it feels like it was about 4 years ago.
It was so fun.
I know. What a heck of a year.
Nice save there, Karen.
Anyway, we've done a high school edition that was like middle school to maybe what did we get to 9th grade?
We did 8th and 9th grade only.
Oh, okay.
Because we were doing middle school, but I came to.
I know what you just did that face for.
We don't have any pictures.
Our pictures
from the first one we did. I mean, part of the I think the funny part of that was the terrible pictures of me in 8th and 9th grade. Angela looks really similar, but my pictures were terrible. So I will get some pictures that have all 4 of us, and if they have our other friends in them, I will do smiley face heads over the other people.
And I'm going to be honest, I look just like I did in high school. So if you can't find pictures,
this is it. We all
this was high school.
Yeah. I don't think I look the same.
Exactly the same as well. So,
but I think
so too, Teresa.
I think that my fashion sense is better than it was in high school. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
My hair is a lot better than it was in high school. Nobody's agreeing? Do you remember the bangs? Do you remember?
Okay, no. That was junior high, if I remember correctly, Betsy.
That's correct.
And when
What, Teresa? We couldn't hear you.
I said when you got to high school, you were really cute, Betsy.
Oh, thanks.
I don't think you had the bangs.
She didn't. She let those grow out.
Side bangs.
Yeah, they were.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I do remember Betsy, because you've always had the really curly hair. Mm-hmm. Remember on Spirit Week, when we did the 70s day and you flattened your hair? Mm-hmm. I walked right iron. Past you. Yeah, didn't even talk to you.
Not a flat iron, like a clothing iron. But yes.
A clothing iron?
Yeah.
Did it burn?
They made flat irons back then.
They didn't. They didn't. Because I had a little layer of frizz.
I'm sure it was not good for my hair. But
how long did that take?
Not as long as a flat iron, because it gets really hot. I knelt by the ironing board and put my head up and then pulled my hair out like this, like strip by strip.
That was my next question. What did you iron it on?
I didn't do it myself. My mom did it. I knelt by the ironing board because I couldn't have been able. I mean, that's kind of dangerous. Ironing with the iron right on your head. So no, I had help from my mom, who said that she did this when she was in the 70s. So there you go.
Wow.
It was
so
okay. You being inventive. That's pretty.
I know.
Pretty clever.
So speaking though of Spirit Week, let's just start with that, because every homecoming we had a Spirit Week. Yes. The first day was always putting on the Ritz. We had to dress nice because we went to mass.
Yes.
The last day was always blue and white. That was our school colors. And then in between it was sprinkled different days. Depending on what,
like Cowboy Day or whatever. Not
Cowboy
What was y'all's?
Day.
Like Hee-Haw Day or something.
And remember
one was
really
they dressed like
stupid.
babies one time.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
one was really stupid though. We did like a weird hat or socks or
tie or something.
Remember?
Tacky
And
day.
I was
I think it was a tacky day.
No, I like tacky day.
I wore the
Yeah.
school uniform on tacky day.
You did. There's actually a picture too of us in the annual on like twin day, but we did more than twins, and we were like Sandy, Candy, and Mandy or something like that. Do you remember that?
Only because it was in the yearbook. I feel like I don't remember these things, but
Only
I'm
'cause it was in the
sure.
yearbook.
I'm like, yeah, I remember that. But really, it's just that I've seen the picture. I've forgotten a lot from high school. I couldn't even
Well,
remember the teachers' names before we started talking about this. I was like, what was that guy's name?
are you gonna age us? I've forgotten a lot. Like high school was that long ago. Because it was not that long ago, Betsy.
It was not long ago at all.
No.
I mean, Angela got carded for one.
I got
number of
carded
kids we have.
today.
It was just
We
like
don't need to talk about that either.
it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah. It was just like a handful of years ago.
We're not going to talk about how old some of our
How
kids
long?
are.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah.
But what was y'all's favorite day in between? Well, and it could have been putting on the Ritz or a blue and white day. But in homecoming week, what was your favorite? Did y'all even have a favorite?
No,
I mean,
I
I
didn't have a
just,
favorite day.
I
I
don't,
liked baby day just because we were able to bring bottles around with us and then drink them while we were in school. That was kind of fun.
Drinking bottles.
That was great.
Mhm.
Drinking bottles. I think
don't-
we did a pajama day. And
Oh
I
yeah,
thought that was
pajama
pretty,
day.
Yeah,
that
no,
was
that
pretty
was fun.
fun because it was so just relaxed. Like, I mean, I think I got dressed the quickest that day.
I think it was, I mean, honestly, it was just a great week because we didn't have to wear a uniform. So it was like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
But I will say this about the uniform. As much as we complained, remember when there was like a couple days in a row that you got to free dress? I was like, what am I going to wear?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it got
You know?
complicated.
Yes.
yeah, I'm actually a fan of the uniform.
I am too. I honestly feel like if I could get away with it and it was socially acceptable, I would want to wear uniforms every day. So I just
Yeah.
didn't have to think of what I'm wearing.
Right. So
Yeah.
you don't have to
Put
put
on-
any thought in it. You just get up and put something on and rock out the door.
I
That's
worked
how
at a
I am.
school where the teachers all had, well, you have your scrubs, Angela.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
it was in Central America. It was just common. That was just at all schools they had. It wasn't like identical like that, like you have to buy at a certain shop, but it was like, okay, black skirt or pants, and then all the
Mhm.
women had like whatever color shirt. So I had like, 6
That's
teal shirts and
exactly the way
and
it
6
is in Ecuador too.
yeah.
All the teachers will have like today's purple button-up shirt day and stuff like that. It's really interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, it was just, that's just how it is there. And I, like some of the other volunteer teachers I work with, did not like it at all. And they were like, we have no individuality, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they
That's
were,
overrated.
and I was like, hey, I get up in the morning, I take 2 minutes to get ready. Like, I'm like, what shirt am I going to wear? Oh, this color. And what color pants? This color. Like, that's all there is in my closet. And it also was nice because then I didn't have to have as many, you don't have to buy as many clothes. And you don't have to worry about like what's in style. It doesn't matter because you're all wearing,
Right.
which is probably
Yeah.
why the schools do it.
I completely understand why they do it.
Yeah, I do too.
Completely,
So
even though
it's fine.
I did
I
not
hated
like
it at
those
the time.
shoes.
The shoes were a bit much. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. The shoes were, and then also when it was so cold and we were in shorts, the girls, because that was our only option.
Yeah, that was silly.
Just not even right. And then as though I think with junior and seniors, they let the girls wear khaki pants.
Yeah. And I was like,
Mhm.
no thanks.
Yes.
These
Oh, I
are
wore
good.
khaki pants. I was like, yeah, because I'm cold.
I'll just wear tights
So-
under my plaid stuff.
No, I
because
was
they
just
were
gonna say, I
so
think we
ugly.
froze.
Teresa?
I wore khaki pants. Did you wear tights, Teresa, or pants?
I just wore shorts and
Yeah.
I had really ugly legs and I still wore shorts because I hate tights because they always slide down, and it feels like the
crotches.
crotch is at your
Yeah.
knees. I hate
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And then wearing pants, I just couldn't find pants that I thought, were a comfortable fit. You were supposed to go to Young Fashions, I think it was, and buy that brand. And I thought they were all hideous. So
They were.
So,
Because they
I'm
were
gonna tell
pleated
y'all-
waist
They were-
polyester
I'm going to
pants.
tell y'all though a little secret. I didn't wear those khaki pants, and I remember the principal pulled me aside to show off a lady, and these are the uniform pants, and I'm like, Yeah, they are. Because those pants, I did not like how they fit me. So I was just like, let me just go buy another pair of khaki pants that fit me right and I like. And I was a senior, so I really didn't care at that point.
Yeah. But when you say it was the times when it was really cold, we didn't have to sit outside for lunch. If it's cold, we could have stayed inside. That would have helped us.
Where?
If we
Where though?
If we weren't in the parking spot having lunch, it would not be the same.
Remember when it would rain and we were like, oh, what are we gonna eat?
We're gonna go sit under the awning where people walk into the school building.
Cool.
And it's splashing. The rain is splashing on us.
So ridiculous.
So yeah.
Does anybody know how we got started eating outside?
No.
Like when did we start? I feel like it wasn't in 8th grade, maybe 9th grade it started.
No, I think it was in like 7th grade.
Yeah,
because
I used to eat at that table when you walk into the cafeteria. We'd eat at that one table, the very first one you came across. You went to the cafeteria. We did that in 7th grade. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I remember because Amisha Baca would eat with us.
Oh
yeah. To say Amisha would.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wasn't there for that, but in 8th grade.
Sorry, Betsy.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It happens. But in 8th grade, when I started infiltrating your group with Rebecca Clark, we ate inside at first.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca and I.
Yeah, I remember you eating with us there. Mm-hmm.
See? And then somehow we went, it just happened that
and then we migrated outside at some point.
Yeah.
There probably wasn't there wasn't a free table or there wasn't room one day. And then it just was like,
and also
I like it's 98 degrees outside. Let's just sit outside in a parking lot.
But I like that we sat in a circle because, tables, it's hard to see and talk. Whereas a circle, we were all talking and all seeing each other and
much more comfortable, sitting on pavement between cars with bees and the sun on us. Yeah.
I remember calling my aunt to have her drop pizza off at the right time. So we could
I remember that.
Yeah, your aunt, Heather Williams' mama dropped us off Wendy's one day. We ordered pizza and they did not follow our directions, so we got in trouble.
Which, I think we
don't understand that one. Yeah.
Well, we discussed this last time. Angel's like, I don't understand why they care if we get pizza delivered to us or somebody drops off food. And I'm like, they had a rule that you could only drop off food for your own child, not for other people. And I'm like, the reason is because they're not making any money selling food in the cafeteria. The school is not going to make money if everybody gets their own food. That's what it is.
So, but also remember you had to have your lunch order in
homeroom.
First period.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm like, I just ate breakfast. Of course I'm not hungry. I don't even want to think about lunch. So then when lunch came around, I'm like, I am starving and I didn't order anything. So Amber, I need to thank you and I need to thank your mom.
Yes.
Because Amber had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day.
I forgot about
that. I would eat her crust of the sandwich every day.
And Angela told me last time that we shared it. And I was like,
we did.
Like you and I split Amber's crust from peanut butter jelly. I'm like, we did? I remember getting those little cups with ranch dressing and buying packages of crackers and eating crackers and ranch dressing.
I remember that.
We just 10 cents
we didn't figure out to have people drop food off to us till we were juniors or seniors.
Yeah, we were
from 7th grade to 10th grade.
Also, we were, I think, seniors.
Can I just say, it never occurred to me how completely unhealthy the things we ate for lunch were. Amber's peanut butter and jelly crust was the most healthy thing I ate.
Yes, because if you remember, the other ones that didn't bring their lunch, which was everyone else besides Amber,
French fries, cheese fries.
Let's go get French fries and split that.
That's right. Betsy, cheese fries.
I would take some fries out and then I'd be like, okay, Betsy, you could salt it then because you were just with the salt. And I was like, you need all that.
I still have
but she made that little pile on the side of her plate of just salt so she could extra smush it around.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't remember that, but I believe it. Even
Yeah.
though I don't remember it. I had a friend in college one time. We were having ramen noodles, and she was a nursing major, and she put half of the little seasoning packet on hers. And I was like, "You're only gonna use half of that?" And she was like, "Yeah, this is so much sodium." I'm like, "Can I have it?" And she was like, and I like added it to mine.
You did 1.5.
I did 1.5, and she was like, "Betsy, that's really not good for you." I'm like, "It's fine." Now when I get my blood pressure checked every time, I'm like, "See, I'm good. I'm good." And they're like, "Your blood pressure is really low." I'm like, "Bring on the salt." I don't eat as much as I used to, though.
Thank goodness.
My husband's like, "You have one kidney." I'm like, does that affect the kidney? He's like, "Everything affects the kidney." Calm down.
But yes, we do need to thank you, Amber, for bringing lunch every day.
Thank you for feeding
Anytime.
us.
Anytime.
And feeding us.
The
and
healthiest
Teresa,
food we had while we were at school.
Yeah, your crust. And Teresa, I need to thank you because your family would sometimes pick up me and my brother on the way to school.
That's right. And drop you off. Although I know my brother Joshua did not enjoy being able to drop you off at your house. But yeah, that was fun for me.
It was nice. And Teresa lived in Pass Christian, and then I lived in Gulfport, almost in Long Beach. And sometimes when I started driving, we would pass each other on the beach, and we knew we were late. Mm-hmm. Like it took me 8 minutes to get to school. Yes. And I left the house at 7:52. And it was just, sometimes we passed y'all, sometimes we passed, like there was 2 other people that we would pass. And it was every morning our senior year. Actually, we had Miss Lapicola first. Remember our religion class? So she was always a little lenient. My brother had to run into the gym upstairs. So he actually got a couple tardies. And my mom said, "Do y'all not go to school together?" And I was like, "He just doesn't run like I do, Mom."
No, I had that problem when my sister would drive because whoever she had was like, whatever. And I would haul butt out of the car, like to my first period. And they're getting, because they would send a fine to the parents. It was like one warning, and then it was like $25 and $50 if your kid's late. And my mom's like, what are you doing between when you get are you talking to your friends in the hall? Like, why are you late? I'm like, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm running and I cannot make it, And she's like, well, Jenny's not late. And I'm like, yeah, Jenny's like casually getting out of the car, like just getting her book. So
no, there was no casual for me, but I left everything in my car. Purse, book bag, everything. And I just ran to the classroom, and I'd be like,
you're like, I need to go to the bathroom.
Here,
go get
Can I go get all my stuff now? And
I'm here. I'm not late. I need to go get everything. And this is why you didn't order your lunch ahead of time.
I just didn't. Yeah, never happened.
Teresa, what did you eat at lunches?
Generally, I would buy French fries and dip them in ranch dressing. I think I also coupled that with ice cream. So I would have that.
I was about to say,
I
remember us occasionally.
We did have fountain drinks then. I bet they don't.
Yeah. Do they? I wonder if they do have fountain drinks. I wonder. Do Amber, your little girl goes? Well, your oldest goes to
St. Patrick.
Kind of like St. John. But do they have fountain drinks?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Every day.
Does she eat, if you don't mind telling us, does she eat French fries with cheese on them every day for lunch?
No, but their menu now is like killer. Like they serve real hot lunches, like the whole 9 yards. Like, and they have a choice of like grilled chicken salads and baked potatoes, like stuffed baked potatoes and all kinds of stuff that we did not have the option of.
No, Amber, I think there was always like fried chicken. But I don't remember.
There was a chicken sandwich.
The chicken sandwich pizza.
Yeah. So Amber, did you ever eat in the cafeteria in high school?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Amber's like, no.
No, I never ate in the cafeteria in elementary school either. Like that's the funny part. No, never.
You just never ate in the cafeteria.
I feel like I brought my lunch from home a lot, but I have now I can't even remember, like, what did I bring?
Oh, you brought pasta salad sometimes, Betsy. Actually, a lot of times I remember you bringing that because I do
remember you having pasta salad.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's funny.
I do remember. And a salt shaker.
And a
That's
salt
I
what
ate
was in my
shaker.
peanut butter and
lunchbox.
jelly probably from kindergarten to my senior year. Like it's a miracle I still, function. I mean,
Do you
that's
eat
all
peanut
my-
butter and jelly now as an
Oh,
adult?
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It didn't burn me out on it, so I guess that's good.
There you go.
So let's talk about another memory that I vividly remember, our senior trip when we went to Disney World.
Oh my God.
Oh,
And because we're talking
Disney
about
World.
food, we all just brought snacks and
Mhm.
we shared snacks and then we ate one meal,
Yeah.
at a
I feel
restaurant.
like we were super cheap, like even when we were in high school.
Oh, we were super
Yeah.
cheap in high school. We
And
would go to the
then-
movie, remember Silver Screen? For
Yeah.
Mhm.
half off. So we'd pay
Yeah. It was normally
75 cents.
$1.25. We got it on
Yeah.
75-cent night.
75 cents to go watch a movie. Now,
I
your
would like
feet
to
might get
think,
stuck to the ground when you walk.
yeah. I would like to thank all three of you for supporting me financially on the Disney World trip because I
Mhm.
lost the second day we were there. I lost a
Yeah, that's right.
$100 bill on the Tower of
Mhm.
Terror, and I had like $15 to my name for the last 4 days or whatever, how much time we had.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
I was like,
See,
"Well,
I thought it was the first day that you lost it. Was it the second?
I don't know. I think it was the second, but
Yeah.
either way, it was most of my money that I had to spend. And I think one meal was included. Like we got one meal at the hotel we were staying at. That's probably why we had one meal a day. I was like,
well,
well, I got one
I-
meal. The rest of the time I would just like eat Amber's peanut butter and jelly crust. The rest
Yeah,
of the
whatever.
I remember we went to Epcot
Mhm.
and we were like all the different countries. Where are we going to eat? And we ended up eating in Canada.
Canada.
Because we-
Canada. I remember that. I was like, of all the places we're going to Canada.
Because we had
But
like
that was
hamburgers
good though.
and French
I like
fries.
that food.
Why? Why did we go to Canada?
Because
every
we're
place was
picky
full.
eaters.
They wasn't
Oh.
any space.
Okay, that makes
And
sense.
we're really
yeah.
picky eaters. Like back then, we were like, we're not eating that. They
Yeah,
don't have
Amber's like,
pizza."
where can I get peanut butter
Yeah.
and jelly?
But do you remember we were so tired because we had to be out of our room at 7:00 in the morning, and our chaperones
So-
didn't get back till after midnight.
To preface it, the class before us was not very well behaved on their trip.
Yeah. Thanks
And
a lot,
so-
class of 97.
2000, that one.
2009.
that one.
So they kind of messed up several things in our high school, like homecoming and different issues that they had. And then they, decided to make more rules because that would obviously help high schoolers to behave. It was that they didn't have enough rules. So with our trip, it was really strict, and they were like, everybody leaves the room at 7 a.m., 8 a.m.
I think it was 7:30.
Turns
It was
in their room
early.
keys, and then can come back. It was supposed to be at like 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. You could get your room keys.
Mhm.
But we were all so tired. I remember half of our class was sitting on the sidewalk outside of our rooms.
Outside the hotel rooms.
And
Yep.
the hotel
People were
had to
laying
be
down.
like, what? I mean, people were just
Yeah.
exhausted, and the chaperones didn't come back until like 11.
Mhm.
And we were pissed because we were tired, and we were like, we got here at 9 and we can't get in our freaking room. And then one girl was sick and like vomiting, and they were like, well, you can't stay in your room during the day without a chaperone. I'm like, then one of the chaperones should stay back. Like,
Mhm.
you're a
Right.
chaperone. This isn't, if they're sick, then let them stay by
So,
themselves or
But
whatever.
we were so tired. Do y'all remember we rode is
The
it monorail?
The monorail.
Monorail.
Yeah. And
We
we're like
just
sleeping.
sat
You
in
could
the
sleep.
just sat in the very back. We all had our snacks and we just rode the monorail for I don't know how long.
We
It's
rode
been
it for like hours.
Okay, it could not just be our friend group that felt that way. Like, I feel like everybody had
No.
to be like that.
Yeah.
But I will say we were pretty smart.
We
We
almost
did not
got
want to
away
wear
with
our bathing suits. We had to we went to mass on a Sunday.
Yep.
The whole class did. And that was the day we were going to the water park, and we didn't want to wear our bathing suits to mass and then
and bring all our stuff with us. We wanted
Yeah.
to or
Mhm.
after the
so
come home and shower or something. I don't remember, but yeah.
so we put all of our stuff in one room. There were two rooms connected.
Yes.
Everyone's personal stuff in one room, And in the other room, we just didn't, Betsy taped
Yep.
the door so it didn't lock.
It didn't lock. And then we turned in our keys.
Yeah.
And then we just pushed the door open when we came back because it wasn't locked.
And do you remember the teacher's face? She was just like,
well,
and
they
then
were back in their rooms resting in the middle of the day.
But I
mean, shocker.
I remember all of this, but what were the repercussions? I don't remember actually you getting in trouble for it, except the shocked look on the teacher's face.
I mean,
Yes. They
Teresa,
just told
it
us
was
to
like,
get moving again.
yeah, it was like May 15th. We are graduating in a couple of days. So
And what are they really going to get? We're going to get in trouble for? I mean, you went back to your hotel room. I mean, we're not drinking. We're not high. We're not like skinny dipping.
We just wanted to change our clothes.
We're in our hotel room. Like all girls, like nothing's happening here. So yeah, I just remember we were being loud enough in our room for somebody, the teacher, to hear us. And when she came to the door, which is a younger teacher that we really got along with, I think, at the time. But she knocked on the door and I answered the door and everyone was like, shh, everybody quiet. Like she doesn't know. So I opened the door.
You slam the door back in her face, like open the door and then shut it again?
She did.
And then we were all like, woo!
So I opened it and then I saw who it was and just closed it, which why didn't I look through the people? I don't know. But anyway,
maybe you're
so then I opened it again and she was like, it's you. Like, she's like, you girls? She's like, you're the good girls. And I was like, well, we wanted to come back to our room to change. Like, we are the good girls, you know,
but also we paid a lot for our trip. Let us at least go in the hotel for 5 seconds. Yeah. You know?
I mean, we were literally just changing our clothes. It wasn't like it shouldn't have taken an act of Congress.
No.
So I think they were just like, get out and how'd you get in here? And I don't think I lied, but I think there was an assumption that we asked like the cleaning lady to let us in. Or we asked the front desk and got another.
I think we alluded.
Why wouldn't we do that? That's the easiest thing.
We alluded to the fact that the cleaning lady let us in. We didn't exactly say it, but we did.
I'm going to be honest. I had no part of that conversation.
Yeah.
I think I was in the back.
I think that was it. It was just a warning. And we're like, okay, yeah, we'll get our stuff and we'll get out.
Yeah.
But I think
see y'all tonight at
10. Yeah, right. Or midnight.
Yeah.
So the chaperones were all at Pleasure Island because when 2 of them came back that night super late, it was only 2. And everybody was pissed. All the students were mad. But the chaperones were like, I'm like, where's all the other chaperones? Like, paid vacation.
Right. It was a paid vacation, a nice vacation.
But we had a really fun time. That was a really good trip to Disney World, despite losing my money and us not being able to actually stay in our hotel room.
Yes, it was. Disney was fun. And I like that about St. John, the class trip. And it was generally every year to Disney. I think 1 year in the whole, majority of the time went somewhere else, but it was generally to Disney. Now, my brother, 2 years later, they flew to Disney World.
Wow.
Yeah. So, of course, my brother, that was one of the first times he'd been on a plane, but I thought that was a good idea, their class flying, because that drive was something else.
Oh, yeah.
We left, like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and then got to Florida, pulled up the next morning on a charter bus. Yeah. Fun.
We're high schoolers, though. High schoolers don't need sleep or nutritious food.
No, not at all. So, let's see. What else notes do I have?
I think.
Go ahead.
I was just thinking, like, when you were talking about homecoming week, I was like, we did so much stuff for our class. And looking back, like, I remember one year we did like construction paper things that you would like pin on your shirt for every day, like putting on the Ritz, and it was like a little hat with glitter. And then like twin day, and it was something else, and like all the sophomores had this on.
Or the cowboy day was a little cowboy hat.
Yeah, we had something.
The lockers were decorated every day.
And now I'm like
why?
First of all, I'm like, that's a lot of energy, a lot of money for what? And then second of all, I'm like, to get the Spirit Award. Like,
and remember, we go to Becca's house
yeah, and make signs
every day, and then multiple times, during football season to make signs. Yeah, make signs and
just
stuff.
a lot.
We'd make those shakers.
Yeah, but I remember
plastic
buying the
bottles.
paint, like we bought the supplies ourselves for a lot of that stuff. And now looking back, I'm like, what? Like, first of all, that's a lot of effort. And there wasn't like most people in our class were not doing that. Second of all, did we study or like do any work outside of school? Because I don't ever remember doing homework. Like
I remember doing some of it. I mean, some of it we had to do. Remember our English teacher in 9th and 11th grade, we had the vocab test.
Okay, Angela, let's say, was your amount of homework and studying equivalent to you being 6th in the class of your graduating class? Do you think that is?
Coach DeQuilla said I was top 5.
Okay, I'm
of course,
sorry.
I think you told about 15 of us.
I was top
5. Yeah.
10. I don't know what I was.
Oh, you were top 10?
I know. I'm in the top 10 of my class. Meanwhile, that's actually the top like 20%.
Yeah.
So
no.
Did you Amber, you had really good grades. Did you feel like you studied a lot?
I mean, not a tremendous amount. No, not especially not written homework. I think the only time I wrote something was the time I wrote those stupid lines that y'all all got detention, and y'all took detention over writing, and I took.
No,
writing.
I didn't have detention because I'll be honest, I was not talking. I was listening to y'all. So that's the only time my mouth was shut. I was just listening to the story.
But the rest of us, like 12 people in that class, got detention that day. But Amber, I thought that time you like copied a whole chapter or something.
I did. And that's what I'm saying. I think that was the most I wrote in my entire high school life.
And then there's me who's like, I'm not writing a chapter, even if you offer that to me.
Yeah, miss attitude.
Principle, because this is wrong.
But also, I think we need to tell people, because at St. John, which is where we went, obviously, we could not there was no getting out of school early, even though we all had our credits. Most high school let out early seniors. Some high schoolers are like, they're done by 9 or 9:30 in the morning,
This is why I had 3 art classes in
I was just about to say. So our senior year, my spring semester of senior year, I don't think I had a class that it was they were just all made up classes.
Right.
Novels and poetry.
That's not made up, Angela.
No, it was made up.
I had a study hall, Angela, and boy, I studied.
That's why you didn't have any homework, because you got it all done in study hall.
And how did you get in study hall? And I was in novels and poetry. How did that work out?
I have no idea, but I do know that Coach DeQuilla was in his little office, and he did such a good job watching us that I was able to go and do a pizza run and fast food runs all the time while I was sitting in my study hall.
You said it? Well, Amber, you were in novels and poetry, right?
Oh, yeah, I had novels and poetry. I mean, I didn't get a study hall. I mean, I will say novels and poetry took a field trip to New Orleans. Yes.
I'm not going to say who the teacher was, because we were dropped off at 8:30 in New Orleans, and that teacher looked at her watch and said, I'll see y'all at 3.
Meet back here at 3.
Yeah. We didn't see her the whole time.
And I remember even in that moment being like,
like this doesn't seem right.
Without an adult?
Yeah,
and
like
we were in our Catholic school uniforms, walking down the river walk, and these homeless men were chasing us. And we ran into the guys in the class, and we were like, thank goodness we knew somebody. Yeah, we didn't see that teacher till about 3 o'clock.
I'll never forget that. We ran into the river walk all day, like all day. The shops, the restaurants, everything, all day.
Dang. I didn't take that class, but I wish I did.
Also, we did a French 3 class, which all of us were in.
And was there 12 people in that class?
No,
it was a great class.
I think it was just 8. It was us 4 and like 3 others.
Yeah.
Okay. Did anyone here?
Smallest class.
Did anyone here actually want to take French 1?
No.
No, okay, no. It was
They made
Spanish.
us because
Spanish is full.
Spanish
You
is
have
were
to
full.
take French.
Because Spanish
Yeah.
was full, we all got shoved into the next round.
But we ended
which
up with
was-
all of our friends like 3 years.
Yeah, no, because if you remember, the teacher said, if y'all sign up for French 3, I'll teach French 3. And we were like, well, we don't want to do a lot.
No, yeah, she was like, it's going to be so fun. It'll be a small group. We'll do a bunch of projects. And then when we got in the class and she actually wanted us to learn something,
She wanted us to conjugate verbs.
we sent a representative.
Teresa.
No, I think it was Laura Collinette, wasn't it?
It wasn't me. It
No,
wasn't
it
me.
was
Wasn't
Laura
you?
Collins.
I felt bad for her because she was like, I'll talk to her. Like, we all decided that we should talk to the teacher and tell her, like, we signed up. Who are we?
Who do we think
Class
we
because we
are?
thought it was going to be fun, like a fun elective.
And
And
this
we
is
don't
not
really want to do
fun.
all this work.
Mm-mm.
But you know what? I think we hurt her feelings, but then
For
we didn't do
sure.
any more work. We really didn't.
No, that is not true. Angela, that is so not true.
What did we
had
do?
we had to translate a song
Yes.
that Amber and Michael had to dance to.
And
Now,
And
do you
that
want to
was
say
French.
what
so
song it was,
important.
Teresa? Say what song it was.
I only remember it in French, and I don't even know the name.
You
Jacques
remember
Louis
it in
Don-
French?
It
What?
was from the Titanic.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
Titanic theme
My
song.
heart will go.
My heart will go on. Celine Dion.
You remember it in
Whoa.
French?
I
only remember,
only
like, 2
parts,
lines.
but yes, I could sing it for you.
Let me
Jacques-
hear some of it. Just some of it, please.
Okay, here it is.
Okay.
Chaque nuit dans mes rêves. Da,
Na,
na,
na.
na.
I do remember
Amber,
being
Amber,
like, be more dramatic. Therese,
Amber, do
be
you
more
remember?
dramatic?
Do you
like-
remember your dance moves?
No, I think I'm good.
Because we made poor Amber, we choreographed her a dance. So her and the one guy that was in
One boy. Yep.
we were friends with him. We were all friends with him. But
Right.
we made them dance together while we sang the song. I wish
And we
Man, the
choreographed
only
their
time
whole
I wish
dance.
we had phones when we were in high
And the teacher,
I wish
and
there
the
was a
teacher
video of this.
required it when I tried to back out at the last moment out of this entire scenario because I said this was a no-go. She said, no, we're going to do it in the library in front of groups of people and y'all are going to dance and they're going to sing. And I was like, no, ma'am, no. Amber's not doing that. Oh, then she
Yeah.
got like angry. She was like, you will do this. I was like, oh, hold up. Like, she's like, no, you get a grade. I was like, so now you're going to throw my grade in?
So Amber, and I hate to say this, but I think that was our idea to do the song, for you and Michael to dance, for us to choreograph, and the teacher just completely went along with it.
I don't know that singing this song was, but we had to come up with projects because I made the Eiffel Tower out of toothpicks.
I
I
drew
remember
the Mona
that.
Lisa.
Yeah,
I
Teresa drew the Mona Lisa.
I recited a French poem, and I don't even know what I was saying, but I was so caught up in it. Our teacher was crying,
Madame.
and I was like,
I do not remember that, Angela.
and I have
Probably
no
like, I don't know
idea.
what that line means, but she
I
did.
just was like,
Now I do
And
remember
she
her
was-
making us go in the cafeteria and make crepes with the saucepan. Don't you remember that?
well,
That
I
was
remember her
fun.
inviting us to her house to make
Went to
crepes, and I
her
was like,
Oh,
this is not
no.
appropriate, but we still did it.
You know, but
Things
I
have
don't think it was
changed.
nearly as inappropriate as it would be now. Like we went
Oh,
over there
yeah.
more than once.
Yeah.
I remember we had
Yeah.
a Super Bowl party over there.
Yeah.
And that was
I
really
think you're-
fun.
I think you're right, because the time. Oh, sorry, the times are different. Like now,
And then
yeah,
we
no way
stabbed her
can
in the
you do
back
that.
when we told her that we didn't want to do any work.
And then
Mhm.
remember, she told the other teachers, because other teachers told
Oh.
us, they were like,
How
"Oh, we
dare
heard
you.
y'all don't want to work," and I was like,
You
"Yeah, we
know,
really don't."
Is that really that surprising? That I mean,
Yeah, we're seniors.
shocked that we didn't
seniors.
want to work. Isn't that the way it is every year with seniors? Like, are there any seniors that are like, yes, please, I'd like more work? I mean, come on. And then the other thing I wanted to say to the teachers when they were all upset is like, you think we're being, I mean, yes, that was rude of us, but is that really the most disrespectful people were to Madame? No,
No.
it were kids that were horrible to her, and
we were so
right
nice
and
to her
left and made fun of
compared
some
to
crazy stuff.
the sheet on the board.
Yeah, I was just going to tell that story because some of the stories I will not tell because they're not appropriate for
Do
children.
y'all remember that sheet on the board?
Yes.
Oh,
Do you want to tell this, Angela? Or you want me to?
I'll start.
Okay.
The class before us was a Spanish class that was a year older than us. And they were just terrible with her. Like the slang, they would always ask her slang things. And
Appropriate question. She
they,
didn't know what
every
they're
time we
talking
came
about.
into class, she was crying.
Yeah.
Every day we came
She
into
was
class.
a young teacher. A young teacher. 26,
And
I think.
so one day
she
we
was
came
young.
in. Yeah. One day we came in and
No, we went to the
she
gym. We all were.
No, I think we came in and she couldn't even talk. Like she
Yeah.
just walked out of the
She
classroom
couldn't
and
get
we were
it
just
together.
like, what
What's
just
going on?
happened?
Yeah.
And that's when we were all called to the gym.
Like on
And
the
Betsy,
intercom.
take over.
The
Yeah,
principal comes
by
on
the
the intercom
principal.
and is like, the entire sophomore class, junior class, whatever it was.
No,
sophomore
it was
class,
junior seniors.
It was 2
report
classes.
to
Yeah.
the gym
2 grades.
immediately. Yeah, all of the juniors and seniors report to the gym immediately. Like the whole, everybody, whatever class you're in. None of the teachers had to know what was going on either. Now,
No.
people would think there was like a terrorist attack, like there's something going on. Like we're all going to the gym.
Right.
So we all go to the gym. Everybody, you know, again, no cell phones. Everybody's in the hall, like, what's going on, you know? And we get in the gym. We're all sitting there, and the principal screams at us, like, is like, this is
who is a very
inappropriate.
mild-mannered
Yes.
guy. Like everyone loved him, but they
Yes.
just, I think, had enough.
And he was livid. And we are all like, we don't even know what he's talking about. And he's like, to disrespect a teacher in this way, and I want to know who did this, and you better step forward now, and on and on and threatening. And we're like, everyone's just sitting there. And eventually a couple of guys go up.
No, I think he said who, like, didn't he say who
I don't
threw
think
that
he
on the
said it.
board?
I don't think
He didn't
said
say
it.
the word,
Yeah. But
he alluded to someone put something on the board.
yes. And it was in her class, in Madonna,
Right.
the language class. And so we were like, what is going on? So a couple people go up and say something to him quietly, not in the microphone, or like, we can't hear it. And he goes, everyone go back to class. And so we find out later that she went to report to the principal that someone put shit on the board. The principal thought that because she was so upset and so worked up, he thought someone, a student, put actual shit on the board. They actually just wrote the word on the board. And so there was a little miscommunication, a little language barrier there. Now, this teacher, she actually, I think, was a pretty good teacher, but she was actually from France. So there was, you know, a little bit of a difference. And I think because she was so upset, the principal thought this is what was really on the board. And so, yeah, it was a big misunderstanding. And I think the students went up like, oh my God, like, what is
But then if you remember, then they had to have the disciplinarian just sit in that classroom.
In the class, the class before,
not ours, the class above us, because it was so bad. So the disciplinarian just sat there the whole time, and I was like, "Oh, that's a waste of his time."
So when we come along a year later and say, like, we just thought this was going to be a fun class, a fun elective, we don't want to do a lot of work. I mean, sure, that's kind of rude, but
she's been through a lot more.
There was a lot of crap that she was put through, not by us, you know. I mean, I'm not justifying it. It was mean.
And she wasn't the only teacher. There was a specific religion teacher that had a very
monotone voice.
Thank you. And in our class, I remember I was like drawing, so I obviously wasn't paying attention. Everyone's head was down except mine because I was drawing, and Betsy. And I don't know what you were doing,
I'm a good
Betsy.
student.
Yeah, you were not paying attention.
I was taking notes.
Whatever. You were probably writing us notes, but we looked around and we kind of made eye contact.
Yeah, we were like,
because if we had been in the class for a good 20 minutes and and
Every
everyone's
head was down on their desk.
We were all asleep.
Yes. Amber, your head was down. And I was like,
out.
Amber is sleeping and I am sitting up. And Betsy, we started laughing, you and I, because we couldn't control ourselves. And he looked up and everyone's head was down. And he just started banging on the deck on his podium. And everyone kind of like sat up like, oh, and he was like, pay attention. And 10 minutes later, everyone else's heads back down on the
because he
desk.
was pretty mild mannered. I don't remember him normally like
he did not
so it was
like
a little
lose his
shocking.
temper.
But as a teacher now, I'm like, how do you not know? Like, how do you keep lecturing when you look out? Like, you can see literally everyone's
How do you
head is
not know
down.
that 90% of the kids are asleep? Like,
Yeah.
it would be blatantly obvious.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He wasn't happy. We got away with a lot of stuff in that class too, that he like passing notes. And then there was the huge paper ball fight that was not started by us, but we definitely contributed to the paper ball situation. But there was a couple kids that would throw, every time he turned his back towards the board, they would throw paper balls across the room to each other.
I mean, when it comes to the paper balls, I remember in my free time ripping up paper and rolling them into balls and then storing them in the pocket of my book bag so I could reach down and grab them. And the teacher turned around and just throw. It didn't even matter who I was throwing at. It just
was this your study hall? This is what you were doing in study hall?
Yeah, in study hall, she was making paper balls.
I did do that in study hall.
Yeah.
I got like hundreds of paper balls made in study hall.
I remember my backpack being like half full of paper balls.
Mm-hmm.
Because then whenever you throw them, you'd pick them up and like gather.
You go collect them. You have to collect them all.
So,
but remember when he turned around and we threw them, and it must have been a beautiful sight when he turned back around.
They were all like descending all at the same time, and the floor was covered in white.
Yes, and everyone's just like
sitting there. But there was one arm that was still in the air. I don't remember
whose arm was that. It was not my arm.
No, it was one of the guys in our class.
Did he get in trouble?
Yeah. And so this same religion teacher yelled at him and was like, you pick up every one of these paper balls. And we're all like, because there's no possible way that one kid could have thrown 500 paper balls, like in every direction, you know? But yeah, so he's just like, and he's like, he got really mad. But you definitely, like, again, how could he not have seen everyone even like reaching in their bags and like, you know, I don't know, maybe he didn't care until it got really bad.
Well, also not caring from paper balls to, I think our biggest thing that, and I'm kind of proud of, because I think we started the water
that was actually our group started that.
We did. It was, I feel proud of this actually as well. When I told my kids, there was a hint of like pride.
Yes.
Although I don't want them to ever do it. But
so
yeah, we totally started that.
Now we started though, if you remember, with just the little water guns.
The little bitty water guns that only hold the little like party favor size.
They just because you have it in the palm of your hand. It was like just a perfect
you couldn't see it.
You cover them up.
Mm-hmm. And they easily fit in our pockets, in our purses. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the boys kind of
took it to the next level.
Brought their super soakers.
I mean,
brought the super soakers.
So a couple days went by where, you know, the teacher's teaching and us girls would be randomly spraying our friends, not our friends, the guys in our class mostly.
They were our friends.
Other girls. Yeah, they were our friends. But they, like, you know, they gave water on the back of their head. And they were just those little ones. So it wasn't like it was really that big.
We're not soaking them.
Right. You're not
Nobody's
them.
like,
we're just spraying it and going.
It's just funny. But of course,
in the
then
hall,
they have to, yes, we'd walk past people in the hall and they'd be like, what? So we did that and kept it in our purse or our pocket or wherever. I remember my khaki pants had like a wet line down the side from the pocket. So
From where it
I
leaked.
need to wear my plaid ones because then it doesn't show.
Right.
Yes. And do you remember the principal? Because it kind of got out of hand a little
It
bit.
escalated. The boys in our
Yes.
class escalated it, and they started bringing in. One day they brought in a cooler full of water balloons, like already
Water balloons. I remember the water balloons.
And
but they
they
brought in those
told
super
us.
soakers too.
They
Like
brought in
huge
super
ones.
soaker.
And remember how you could
Yes.
like keep the guns right outside the window and just pull them right in, and
Pull
you could
'em
even
in.
like,
And take,
you know,
But remember
pump 'em
they
up
told
and shoot
us,
people.
But
like,
this is when it
oh,
becomes
we're going to get
obvious.
y'all at lunch.
Yeah,
They
but
knew
this is
we
when it
sat
becomes
outside.
obvious.
And we were like, yeah, we're not going to sit outside then today at
Yeah,
lunch.
we're like, you told us you brought water balloons. We're not going to go outside.
Yeah, we're
because
going
we know
to.
we're gonna get pummeled.
Right, right. So we just ate in the hall.
Right. So here's the question about the larger guns. Like the whole time we're like, these guys are idiots. So they would keep them, like you said, Teresa. We used windows a lot. That's a whole nother story. We had
Oh,
these
yeah,
low
we
windows and we'd like
climbed out of
climb
them.
out
We
of the windows,
left.
climb
Yeah,
into the
we
windows
left.
in the middle of class. But anyway, so they would put it outside the window and lean out and grab it and spray us
Grab
in
it.
class. Now you have several girls in the class that are soaking wet. Like, this is obvious, you know, you're like water all over your face. People are going to catch on, you know? And so obviously teachers caught on and some teachers didn't care, but we did have to.
Well, the principal, I remember him coming into our classroom and homeroom and saying, okay, everyone that has a water gun, bring it up here now.
And a
Well,
pile on the
Somebody
floor.
tattletailed though, Angela. Somebody tattled and had a list. And I remember him calling out people's names on the list. And you had to at least drop
That's what we
one
did.
gun.
'Cause
But most people
I
had more than
didn't-
one.
My name must not have been on that list because I sat
No,
at
it
my desk
wasn't.
and did not move.
Mine was
And
on the list.
The boys are going up there and they're unloading. They're like
They're giving,
getting it out of their pocket, out of their socks. And I'm like,
yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like, you can have this one that leaks the most. I'm keeping the other two. You can have one in my sock and one in my purse. So
and then the rest of the day we were just like,
they were defenseless. They had nothing. The guys didn't have
But
anything.
then you
Turned
had
in
Mr.
all their
Rossetti,
guns.
who you went to his class, and he soaked you anyway because he kept his up by his projector.
Mr. Rossetti came into Mr. Ropel's class, which was
And
a
soaked
different
us.
teacher. And so he opened the door. Amber and I
And
were sitting
soaked
there.
me.
We looked up. He just soaked us,
Soaked
told
us.
Mr. Rossetti, sorry,
Head to
shut
toe.
the door.
Yep.
And we were just like,
I don't see,
Yeah.
and I don't remember that. Did he use that in class
Okay.
on students, like if they were sleeping, or when did he use
Yes,
it?
or he would squirt them if they got the answer wrong or they weren't paying attention
Oh,
and didn't
he
come to
did.
the
Or
projector.
he would also just randomly shoot people walking down the hallway.
He
would
would.
shoot people,
Yes.
which was kind
Yes.
of funny. But
Yes.
I remember somebody going and stealing it from his classroom
Yes.
during his lunch. And I thought that was you, Betsy, but I might be remembering wrong.
I don't remember. It could
I
Was
do
it
remember
you?
somebody stealing it.
oh, it
I
was
don't remember.
100% not me. I don't even know if I knew that. I think
don't-
I was a better kid than y'all
I don't
were.
remember it.
I'm going to say
Oh,
that.
yeah,
It
yeah.
might
Birds of a
have been
feather,
me
Angela.
even.
Birds of a feather.
Yeah, Angela, you were right there in the middle.
My
of
name
all of
wasn't
it
on the
with us.
list. I stayed in my seat when he called out the water guns.
Yeah, I was like, Dr. Acosta, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not even friends with them. Right. I don't remember doing that, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't me. I just don't remember it. Also, when you said I remember someone, I'm like, are you trying not to say who it was because you don't want us to you don't want to bring it up?
No,
that was.
I mean, it could have been me. I don't remember, but I do remember that he was a really great teacher. I loved him actually
Yes.
as a teacher. I thought he was a great
Yes.
teacher.
Yes.
But also he was just really fun. And I loved the fact that he got water guns and would shoot people with them. I thought it was so great. He was
Yeah.
he was my favorite teacher,
Yeah.
or one of my favorite teachers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he made it interesting. He kept it fun.
Now,
I think you definitely
Tracy-
instigated our water guns then. I mean, because he was
Oh,
already
yeah.
doing that long before we brought water guns to school.
Mhm.
We're probably like, hey, if a teacher can spray people in the hall when they walk by, why can't we?
Right.
So, Tracy, you have a good point. He was one of your favorite. Who was like y'all's favorite when you think back of, teachers at St.
I
Charles?
loved
For
Coach
me,
Dillinger.
Oh, yeah.
I did. I loved Coach Dillinger.
I did
He was
too.
just so sweet. He always
Did he really?
he always had everybody's back. Like if you did anything, he was the one that was going to fix it. He always loved, like, he'd hug you in the hallway. He just was he was always a great guy.
He really, I thought, cared too about all of us, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah. And it's like he knew everybody. Like he knew everybody.
yeah.
He knew their families. He knew everybody. Like it was, he was always the one that comes to my mind first.
Now,
like
he taught us, did he teach us science or health or something?
Yeah, something 1 year. I don't remember
Yeah.
what it was, but he taught us at least one.
Out of the science teachers, he was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
My favorite, actually, and I think it might be Betsy's not favorite, but my favorite was Mrs. Marchetti or Miss Marchetti. I don't even know if she was married.
I was
I
going
think
to
she
say
was married. Her
Miss
husband
Marchetti
was
too.
gone. But
He
I
was in the
love Mrs.
military.
Marchetti. I took her for like 4 different classes.
I
loved
did
her.
too.
Okay,
I had her a lot.
She was a good teacher. I'll say that. I learned a lot in her class. We actually did work. We actually so I think she was a good teacher. I wasn't like friends with her or anything, but that's fine. You don't have to be friends with your teachers.
But she was
Right.
also a hard teacher. Like, I remember
Right.
studying in her class.
Yeah,
Because
She's
you
no
had
the
to
only
study.
person I studied for. The only teacher I ever had to study for was Mrs. Marchetti. But you know what? To this day, I remember what I learned in her class.
But
which is
y'all, I
saying a lot.
remember,
I mean, it's
I
only been like
remember
4
going
years.
to college. I remember going to college and taking science classes, and I thought, Miss Marchetti already taught me this.
That's
Like
good. Wow.
she was, I really
She was good.
enjoyed. She was a really good teacher.
Um,
So, Betsy, who was your favorite?
I liked Mrs. Moffat.
Yep.
In the computer class or religion? Because I didn't have her for religion.
I had her for religion. That was
Her and Miss McGuffey.
Yes,
They were,
Yeah,
I mean,
Miss
yeah,
McGuffey.
Miss McGuffey.
McGuffey.
I
I
remember
didn't-
Miss McGuffey pulling us into her class when the OJ trial, when
Yes.
the verdict was read. So, because she was like, "This is history. Y'all
This
need
is
to come watch
history.
this."
I remember that. Yeah.
Mrs. Lout. I thought
I
was a
like
good
Mrs.
teacher.
Loud. I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, I did too.
I remember actually learning and being interested in her class, and to me, that's okay. That's a good teacher. That's.
I remember her
high
literature
school.
class the most. Like I remember
Yes.
reading like To Kill a Mockingbird and reading, the
Mhm.
John Grisham books with
John
her. Like, I
Grisham.
remember. I remember all of those because of her.
Mhm.
She did
I really liked Mrs. Lout as well, but remember she had cancer and she was on a whole bunch
Yes.
of drugs, and I just thought she was hilarious because of
There were
Oh.
what
some
she was
interesting
on. I don't know what
moments
she
for
was
sure.
taking, but
Yes,
I laughed a lot.
Yes.
I would agree with that for sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
But
did like Miss
That's
Lout,
still better
though.
than we had a certain math teacher. I don't know if we're mentioning names, who told us that we were on drugs, and he would leave the room and go smoke, and we'd climb in and out of the window.
Yeah.
I don't think he was on drugs, but he acted like he was, and we didn't.
He only made it half a year. Did he even make it half a year?
He made it to
I don't
December,
think.
and then
He
they
made
got
it
rid
to
of him.
Christmas.
Because
Yeah,
I remember also
I think he
our
made it to
chemistry teacher and our junior year, he didn't even make it. I
He
think he
didn't
made it
make
like
it.
a month.
No, he
remember.
didn't even make it 6 weeks.
Yeah. And I remember him saying at the beginning of class, my eyebrows are fake, part of my nose is fake, my chin. And I was like, he was like, so we're gonna get in here and we're gonna do some experiments. And I was like, I'm not doing any experiments
I do
where things are
remember
gonna
him
blow
saying
up
that.
in my face. No. Yeah. And then he didn't make it. Then we just had for chemistry,
Subs.
I don't know,
Subs. We had
15 subs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So props to Mrs. Lout for going through all that and still being
And still teaching.
Mm-hmm.
and pretty effectively. We all remember it, and you know what I mean.
I also
Yeah,
remember.
she left an impression. Let's put it that way.
And Miss Bartlett, you had to have your homework turned in before school.
Before school.
How did you do that,
God.
Angela, when you were running in?
It was a mess. I just feel like I was running all the time. I
But
could
that
have
was
been on
pretty
track
smart
if
of
we had
her,
track.
because otherwise,
And
we would
Lord
just copy
knows,
each
if
other's
you
homework.
forgot your calculator, you weren't going to pass that day. Like it was a train
calculator.
wreck.
Y'all, and that's where my technology, because y'all know me and Miss Moffat in computer class, I'm pecking. Me and the janitor got along really well because I was the only kid still in the school at 5 o'clock, still doing my computer stuff. And my brother was like, Angela, the baseball team's already gone. They're done with practice. And I'm like, I gotta finish this paragraph. Just pecking away. Yeah.
Little did you know, now you can just use your phone and just type faster than anybody with your thumb.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was when I played golf. I took her class when I played golf. So remember golf, we had trips during the day. So I would miss computer class and I'd be like, I'm going to be after school till 6 o'clock tomorrow, catching up on all of that.
So
I appreciate y'all helping me.
Sorry.
I was over
That's
here like
hilarious.
75 words per minute. See you later.
Yeah. Yeah. Not me. I'm like 7.5 words per minute.
So although we joke about how terrible some of these teachers were, which they definitely were, we had
some of them were
as well. Like
we had some great teachers.
You know,
oh yeah,
some things just seemed so ridiculous and unjust at the time when it really wasn't that big of a deal. Other things seemed unjust at the time, and still looking back, I'm like, no, that's still pretty wrong. We had a history class that was all essay tests, and he'd give us the teacher gave us 6 topics that we should study, and then he would choose 4 of them. Okay. And then you had to write a 1-page essay on each of them in class. Well, people started writing the essay and having them in their notebook, and he'd say, pull out paper and start writing. And they'd already have them done because they did them the night before. So they sounded really great and they didn't have to learn anything. They just had it wrote everything out for their book and had everything planned. And then they just put their name on the top of the paper and turn in the ones that he asked for. Well, he got wind of this. And so he said, no, he would hand out paper and you couldn't have anything on your desk. Well, people started just writing total BS. And by total BS, I mean you're supposed to be talking about an event in history, and I'm talking about what I bought at the grocery store yesterday.
Okay,
nothing.
So did you do that? Because I wrote history.
So did I.
Okay, Angela, real history, what you were supposed to write about, or did you
just
some of the words?
Yes, you know my conscience. I'm like,
yes, because I studied, Betsy. I don't know. I studied.
Yeah, I wrote some history, and you know what else I did?
The first or the second.
Underlined stuff for him.
Oh,
when I
really?
wrote that.
There you go. Okay, so probably the first or second time, yeah, I studied, and then after that, I was like, nobody is doing this, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna write the first paragraph. Has some stuff that has a few words, and I would throw in the middle of my story at the grocery store, certain names of what we're supposed to be talking about, but the rest was total garbage. And it got to the point where I was doing it just to test if he actually read any of it. And my grade did not go up or down by more than 5 points, no matter what I wrote. I would go from a B+ to an A- to a B+ to an A- every test, no matter what I wrote. And he would just did little check marks and would circle things and check and check. Now, as a teacher, I'm like, I don't want to read 100 kids each writing 4 pages of essays every week. That sounds terrible. I wouldn't want to read all that either. And then also grading essay is so hard anyway, because it's not easy to grade. It's much easier to grade true or false.
Antron, yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, if you're going to give essay, you have to at least read it. So I don't think I don't ever remember ever getting
But I
should have had
when
an
I
F
got
on
in
those
college,
papers.
I had a teacher that had essay test. Now, this teacher in college obviously read it,
well,
but I was like, yeah, I can do this. 100% I can do this.
Oh, I could do
but
it.
I
also was pushing the envelope to see what I could get away with.
There was no pushing the envelope.
I remember I felt like in high school, that particular teacher, I didn't get along with that teacher, and that teacher didn't seem to like me either. And it didn't matter what I wrote. And I really thought I tried and I did my best.
And you got a B.
But I still couldn't do well. And that really annoyed me. And then when I went to college, I guess it was good practice because most of my classes were blue book exams, and you just write on any topic.
But I also was annoyed by that, Teresa, because I was like, I can study my butt off. I can write an amazing essay for you, and I'm going to get a 90. Like that's the
Yeah,
highest
it was
I
completely
Mm.
subjective. Whatever he wanted to give you, he would give
Yeah.
you. It wasn't
Right.
like
I
right and
generally
this is
got the
wrong. It
same
wasn't that.
grade,
Yep.
but it was not a 90. It was,
Of
I
course.
went between like a 95 and a 98
Yeah.
generally with
Me
him.
too.
And it would never change. Even if you wrote one that was total BS, you
Right.
probably would have done a 95.
But mine were not BSs.
Well, most of the class was writing BS and they were getting the same grade every time.
So
I'm like, okay. So yeah,
there's another
obviously
history teacher.
we had different takes on the essay question.
Oh, for sure.
And
Yeah,
I thought that everybody was doing what I was doing, but I also kind of wanted to test it and see, because I did write some good essays to see if I could get a higher score, and I couldn't. And I would even ask him, because I was notorious for being like, how can I do better and how can I improve my grade to the teacher? And yeah, he didn't give me really anything to work on. He's like, well, that's a B plus. I'm like, yeah, I know.
So there's
unlike the
another
other-
history teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
That-
the teacher who gave me 100 when I asked him how the math problem was wrong.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But this history teacher did not give you 100, did he? The other one?
No, he didn't like me, and I don't blame
Yeah.
him. I was not a
Yeah.
likable student in his class.
So he also
you laugh, Amber, but like you
He
wouldn't
did
have had
not
Betsy
like-
in your class. I had so much attitude. Not with the teachers that okay, with the good teachers, I don't think I had an attitude problem. Like the ones we just
Right.
named that we loved. I was a good student. I listened. I did my work. I didn't give him any attitude. It was the
Right.
ones that were like, inappropriate that I felt. the
I
need to tell them.
remember this
You
teacher.
were just a challenge, and
She was.
You gave. You were the challenge. You would go in and sit there directly in front of him to challenge how he was going to survive class by class, day by day. I mean,
and actually like make fun of him sitting
that was
directly in front of
was
him.
rude. But I did ask
So
to
because
be,
he had
I
a
did ask to be
little,
moved
is
away
it a
from my
list
friends
that he
because I was
had,
like,
or
we're gonna get in
he'd
trouble.
go like that?
Yes.
What was that? And
Um,
he would always talk and do that. And he sat
In
us
between
and
sentences,
he arranged,
He would do that
Yeah.
whenever he was talking. And I don't know if it was
and he placed us in our chairs, our desks at school. And I remember we're all standing up and there's only 2 rows left. And these were 2 smaller rows. And we're looking around at each other, all of us, good friends, still standing up. And he was like, and y'all sit here. And you, Betsy, were like, oh, I can't sit by my friends. I'm going to get in trouble.
I was like, this
And
is a
he was
bad
like,
idea.
you're going to sit where I tell you to
Yeah.
sit.
I think I
course,
sat
yeah, I
down
don't-
and then I asked if I could change seats with someone. And he was like, why? I'm like, because I'm definitely going to get in trouble because we're going to talk a lot. And he was like, you need to control yourself. And
You were in the front, though. I think I was in the middle.
Betsy was definitely in the front. She was
Yes.
sitting front and center of where he was standing.
yeah.
Teresa, where were you? Do you remember?
I don't
Amber,
remember
do you
much of
remember
that
you
class except
I
that
do. I was in the
kind
back.
of thing.
It was only like 3 rows deep,
Yes.
if I
And
recall.
Amber, you
and I
might
was
have been
in the
behind
back.
me. Yes.
I was in the back of the row,
And then
because I remember
Teresa,
Betsy
you-
being at the front.
And Teresa, I think you're on the other side,
How
maybe
do
in
y'all
the
remember
front.
this?
And
Oh, I remember that.
Betsy, when it was completely quiet in the class, you went, and we were all like, oh my God. You turned around, I think, and did it. And you had to turn back around and face him.
Yeah.
And I just
turned
was
around to
like-
you guys.
You turned around to Angela and me and did it. And then you flipped yourself around and he was like right in your
He was looking right at
Yes.
me and I just sat there and he didn't say anything.
So wrong.
We
But that's-
also
that's
started the like ongoing note
Yes.
in this class because we were all so close.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was
because we were like within all you had to do was like literally bend your arm a little bit and you could be
Mhm.
touching the person in front of you.
Yep.
yeah. And yeah, this
we would
note went on
start-
for
Yeah, we would start a note and write 1 or 2 sentences and pass it to the person beside us, behind us. They would write 1 or 2 sentences and then the next person. And it would go through 5 or 6 of us friends and get back to the first person.
And then you flip the paper over and do the backside.
yeah.
it went through one boy. He didn't read the note. but he had to help us
He had
pass
to
it.
help pass it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we messed up his sleep to pass it.
There's a lot
But,
of sleeping in that class.
Yeah, I didn't sleep, but yeah, he did a ton.
But we passed notes a lot, and I don't ever remember it being taken away by a teacher.
Mm-mm.
Right?
Which is a good thing. Actually, I have some of our notes.
Are you serious?
I think
Yeah.
I do.
I'm sure you do.
I think I do have some of our notes from high school
We're not
in
gonna,
one of my boxes.
we aren't going to be bringing
Wow.
those out for the podcast. We will get a picture of us from high school to post, but
We won't even bring out those notes to our children. I don't have
No.
kids, but y'all's kids don't need to know what we were talking about.
Absolutely.
Now it was like a running commentary because it was between so many people. It made it really it was just really fun because there were so many people writing,
Yeah. And we all have our
group texting before it was a thing.
We really were.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we did selfies in Disney World. So there you go, Kim K. We did
Really?
selfies first.
With your disposable camera?
Probably.
That was not nice, Betsy. But yeah, how else am I going to take a picture?
Why is that not nice? You did. We bought you a camera as a gift.
You did. Yeah, it was.
And I feel like immediately you were like, you're going to have to show me how to use it. Things have not changed since high school.
Not a bit.
No. Still like that.
I think we all went together.
She wasn't quite sure how she was getting on the Zoom meeting.
It's amazing how I've made it.
It's true.
But I think so out of high school, I think back.
That teacher's class, he's the one, so that was I had 2 detentions in high school. They were both freshman year, and it was the same week. And my parents were like, what is happening? And I was like, don't worry about it. The teachers are ridiculous. And that was it. But the first one was when, Amber, when you wrote the whole chapter to get out of it, but it was like 12 or 13 people all got detention because we came into class and we weren't quiet when the bell rang. Angela was listening to us talk. That was the first one.
We weren't quiet coming in. We sounded like a herd of cattle. I mean, I get it, but at the same
the whole
time,
class was talking.
Yeah.
I mean, I was not talking because I was listening to my friends talk.
Yeah.
So
he made a list of everyone.
And I was on that list, and I was not getting a detention because I
Amber,
could not.
Yes, I remember you like throwing yourself over his podium, and I thought,
like, panic stricken.
Yes.
Panic stricken that my parents were going to be beyond livid about the detention. So I was like, look, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Anything
and look
you
at
want
your
me to
brother. Look at your parents would have been fine with you getting a detention. Look at you.
Hello. I mean, mind blown now. I mean, couldn't have done anything, and it would have paled in comparison. But at the moment, I was like, And he told me I wrote past midnight that night. I vividly remember like writing for hours on end. My hand was killing me because I wrote the entire chapter word for word. And then don't you remember me turning it in and he shredded it?
He didn't even look at it.
He didn't even look at it. He shredded it and was like, well, that got you out of detention. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, dude.
No, I didn't have
wait, Teresa, were you in that class?
I don't remember getting a detention for that. I vaguely remember it happening. I did have 2 detentions, and neither one of them were bad. So I didn't want them on my college record, but it wasn't.
See, that's what I was about to tell Amber. If you knew that it really didn't matter for college.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, nobody asked me if I had detention.
When did you get detention? Do you remember what?
One time I got detention when I was in Sister Joanne's class. I came in late on my birthday.
I do remember that because you threw your books down.
Yeah. And then another time I got detention. I don't remember what it was for.
Joanne? Who's that?
7th or 8th grade.
8th. Was it 8th grade?
7th or 8th. It was one of those. I think it was 8th.
Why did you throw your books down?
Because it was her birthday and she got a detention.
And I got a detention for coming in late.
Okay.
But she really, I'll be honest, Teresa, you really weren't even late.
Yeah,
You
no.
were walking through the door as the bell rang and she gave you a detention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And and it was your birthday.
It was my birthday. And I was like,
Which-
kids, just please, it's my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that time I had to go pick up trash or something. And then the second time, I just remember hanging out with Mr. Herbert in the biology lab. And that was it. That's all I
Who
don't
gave
remember
you that
why.
detention?
Huh?
Do you remember who gave you that detention?
I think it might have been that history teacher I didn't like, but I could be wrong.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Didn't surprise me either.
Well,
So
mine from the
Amber,
history teacher was because he was being inappropriate in class, and I raised my hand and said, and then he wouldn't call on me for a long time. And so I had my hand up, and I was like, waiting. And he finally was like, Miss Hess, and I was like, don't you think that this is inappropriate? And he was like, Miss Hess, and I was like, I mean, why are we talking about this in history? And he was like, that's it. You have a detention. I was like, that's fine. It's still inappropriate. Which, was I wrong?
no, there was a lot of
Okay.
stuff inappropriate
Thank
in
you.
that
Now,
class.
maybe it was wrong as a high schooler to like, you
to
know,
have that
to
attitude.
say that to the teacher in that
Yeah.
way, which is very disrespectful. But I was not wrong about being inappropriate. And that was not the first time, nor the last. So it was like, you know. Anyway. But he didn't hate me as much as I think other people, like cheerleaders. He really had something against cheerleaders.
Oh yeah, he really did.
Right? I don't know. why.
So I got
Problem
0
is-
detentions. Amber, you got 0 detentions, right? Because you wrote the
Yep.
chapter.
Yep.
Oh.
0 detentions.
Yeah. So
Obviously, it has
we're
really
gonna
impacted
say-
our life and our college
Mhm.
future, depending on the
Yeah.
number of detentions you got.
I didn't
obviously.
serve any.
Oh, what a lie. It reminds me of like,
What?
in Never Been Kissed when she's like dying in PE class and she's running and they're like, you got to make this mile. If you fail PE, you'll never get into college. And she's like, you guys are still telling that lie? Like, what? I'm like, yes, that's
hated
definitely a lie.
doing the mile in the gym. Do you remember we had to
Oh,
partner up and go 20 times around the gym floor? And I hated it. Hated it.
I can't believe they let us
Hated-
run on the gym floor.
No. You ran on the outside. You weren't cutting corners.
You weren't supposed to cut corners, but everybody did. And I
They
remember
did.
I ran like a 16-minute mile, which I think I could walk faster nowadays, but
Yeah, I know. It is kind of funny to
Oh,
think about
gosh.
that, right?
I hated PE.
So well, I didn't hate it, but I hated that mile.
I didn't
Yeah.
mind the
Sure.
like when we did the weight training semester, whatever. I didn't mind that when we were.
I
like,
didn't mind that
doing
either.
The weight.
I
I
like
don't know what
that.
y'all are talking about.
We went to the
Did I
weight
miss that
room.
whole?
We went to the field
Health
house.
and PE.
Yeah, I don't
We also
remember
saw
that.
an open heart surgery in that same class, I think.
I do remember that. Yes.
What? Wait, say that again.
Yeah.
There was an open heart surgery video that we watched in that class as well.
I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
I just remember I didn't mind the weight training. I was like, yeah, I can do this. It was the competitive sports where I felt like we were playing with, it was co-ed, and I felt like it wasn't just co-ed with our grade level. It was older guys in our class also. And it just was really intimidating. And also like, I can't keep up. I don't want to be out here playing sports with these guys. Like it just was, you know,
But remember, we had to change from our uniform to our gym uniform.
in our like
And
4
if
minutes.
PE was your first period,
Yeah.
then you had the rest of the day, you're like, kind of sweaty. And I hated PE first period.
Well, and you had to run because they never gave you
Yeah.
time to like get ready
Right.
for classes. So, and then you're late, and then you're gonna get a detention.
Well, no, that didn't work. That was not happening over here.
Oh my
I do,
goodness.
though, remember an English teacher that taught us. He was our senior English teacher because he taught my brother, who was a sophomore, and he put a movie on and turned off all the lights. Well,
was this
there was
upstairs in the
yes, so
Okay.
there was no window,
Upstairs
so
in
it
the
was
gym.
completely dark. So
Yeah.
I fell asleep during the movie, and when I woke up, I put a peppermint in my mouth. And I went to go talk to him and see if I could use the restroom. And he was like, "What's in your mouth?" And I was like, "Nothing." And he was like, "Candy." And I was like, "It's not really candy. It's just a peppermint." And he was like, and I said, "You want me to spit it in your hand?" And then he was like, "Put it in the garbage." So he put my name on the board, A. Darrow, because my brother did something else and his name was on the board. So J Darrow and A Darrow. And a couple of days later, John Vincent told me, he said, "Angela, Mr. Snell erased our names on the board." And I was like, "I erased our names on the board. I was tired of having them up there every time I came into class. So I just erased it from the board. So you're welcome." That was it.
So funny that you just decided it was time for your name to come down off of the board.
My name, yes, I was done with our names on the board. Mom and Dad would have been so proud. But again, we're seniors. You that senioritis is a real thing.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's a real thing for like 8th graders. They get the senioritis. I'm like, ugh, you're so obnoxious when I was teaching 8th grade. And then they would leave and they come to high school. I'd see them 6 months later when they're in high school and they're like, "We miss your class." And they were like so nice and so great. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you were like in 7th grade before I taught you when you were in 8th grade. And you just like couldn't wait to get out because it was so terrible. Remember our class shirts that were like prison number at the top?
That was our senior year.
Yeah, parole date and
Our parole date shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the teachers had to just all roll their eyes at us like, "Oh,
I'm sure they did.
You're in prison."
I still have some of my class shirts. Does anyone else have
you
theirs?
were gonna wear one tonight.
No, I wore the parole date one at our last talk. Do y'all have yours? Any of y'all? Amber,
I
Teresa?
never bought those shirts because
Really?
my parents would have made me pay for it myself, and I didn't care that much about them to buy it myself.
Well,
there you
that's
go.
Smart of you because none of us have them now. It's only been
I do.
5 years and we've all I have one green one that had 98 on the back.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
I remember that one.
It's worn very, very thin.
Okay, so to wrap this up.
No, wait, I have one more question.
Okay.
So, in true powwow form, I would like us each to say what their favorite part of high school was.
I was going to say that.
Oh my gosh.
Totally going to say that, Karen.
That's not a Karen. That's a great minds think alike thing.
That's okay. Because I look back in high school, to me, I didn't, especially my sophomore, junior, senior year, I did not miss much if I missed a day because it was 100% social time with my friends.
Yes.
Yes. It was, so I didn't want to miss anything. And if I really was sick, I remember calling like y'all at night and like, "What happened? What did y'all do?"
Yes.
So it was a good time. And I know some people think high school, they hated high school, but for me, it was, and look, yes. And these friendships we've had, just 5 or 6 years.
We'll make it to 20 years of friendship, Angela, one day.
I think we might get to 20.
And we'll taste our wine to it. Don't worry.
Yes.
We might
maybe
even
we'll
get
be
to
getting carded
27
then.
years of
Yes, we'll get carded at the liquor store on our way to the party.
Yes. So
I agree with that, Angela.
Was your...
Like my favorite part was the friendship, like the friendships that we had. And I realize the older I get, the more I realize that was a rare thing then and is still a rare thing now. Even with, a lot of people I know now are like, yeah, I maybe talk to somebody I know on Facebook from high school, but I don't like actually stay in contact. And even they didn't really have great friends in high school. They had people they hung out with, but not like really good friendships and people you can
right.
With. So I'm like, I realize now how rare that is, but I'm like, that's probably why I had a fairly good high school experience is because I had a strong group of friends that were like, I didn't have some of the other issues that people had, and hating high school as much as we joke around because I had a big attitude problem, But at the same time, just an attitude problem, not a drug problem. Although Angela says I look like a drug addict when I was in high school. It was
Look,
just an attitude problem.
I'll show you the picture. It looks like you came right out of rehab or you were going into rehab.
See, and Angela, when we were in high school, was nice. She would have never said that to me when we were in high school.
That's right.
But now she can be a Karen.
Now she can tell it like it is and be like, what?
I am half of a Karen.
So anyway, yeah, that was my favorite part. And I didn't mind going to school. You know, I also didn't mind staying home if I was sick or whatever. But yeah, I did. And I enjoyed like the social aspect of it. So with seeing my friends, I'm really glad we didn't have social media. I'm really glad.
I agree.
Oh my gosh.
Pass notes and talk to each other for 2 hours on the phone at night and then had to get off the phone because someone needed to use the internet.
Yeah.
But I think that was good. I mean, I think that probably contributed to friendships that are different, you know, that are deeper than unfortunately, like, you know, it's harder now with social, not that they don't exist for high schoolers, but I think it's harder to get to that.
Right.
So,
right.
So Teresa or Amber, what about y'all?
Oh, I mean, I think lunchtime, our powwows is my favorite memories. I mean, I think the stories we told, the fun we had, the trouble we got ourselves into and out of. I mean, I think that was all the best parts of all of it, because at lunch is when we break down what we had gotten ourselves into from 8 o'clock when we got there until lunch. And then it was like, and now what are we going to screw up between lunch and after school?
Yeah, you know, the funny
lunch
thing is,
was great.
I don't feel like we hung out that much. We did hang out sometimes on the weekends, but it was rare.
It was rare.
Teresa was always working.
We hung out
I had a job.
We hung out one day on the weekend, one night. It was either Friday or Saturday. Teresa, whatever day you did not have to work.
But even that was probably only one or two weekends a month. It wasn't like.
But it's not like we did I mean, we might have gone to the movie, but we didn't do that a lot, you know?
Right.
So I don't know what we did. What did we do?
I would go.
I remember going and playing cards at Heather's house at times. That was really, really fun. We'd spend the night, you know, just spend the night at people's houses. You don't remember doing that?
I don't remember cards. I remember
I was taught how to play spades over at Heather's house, and I'll never forget it because I really enjoyed the game.
Oh, I do like spades.
I think we
remember
did spend the night
over at Angela's grandmother's house.
I remember that too. I remember that.
Yeah, Mama scared. Mama dressed as a ghost.
Yes, and scared the Jesus out of me. And Sally lost her head that.
Sally's my doll, people. Not a real person.
Now I'm just all re-offended because I wasn't invited to this event.
That was pre-8th grade.
Okay.
Sorry, Beth. Sorry.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, I knew your doll Sally, but you had her through high school, so I was like, I don't know.
I did have Sally.
Kidding.
Yeah.
I won't hold a grudge like the whole Alanis Morissette concert issue.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No. If you guys missed it last time, I told Angela, of all your friends, who do you think would want to go to Alanis Morissette? She's like, I'm sorry. All right, Teresa.
I mean, obviously, the friendships are something that's so special that I don't think a whole lot of people have, especially nowadays. I think it was really great for all of us. It formed us in a really great way. We never had peer pressure to do anything really bad. It was all the opposite, which is just really awesome. I mean, I wish that my kids would have friends like I had when I was growing up. If my kids had friends like I had, I'm a happy parent, you know?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. But I did have fun in school. I mean, I love thinking back on that water gun fight. I love thinking about the paper ball fights. I had so much fun at those times, you know. I even enjoyed PE sometimes, playing volleyball in PE. I thought that was fun, and badminton. And I just really loved high school. I had a great time in high school.
I did too. And then I wonder sometimes, did I peak in high school?
And then I look at the photos and say, well, my fashion sense didn't peak.
That is true. That is true. Whereas we, you know.
I have to say
so-
that it is. I remember my sister. I think when we were in college, my sister, who's like 3.5 years older, she's 4 years ahead of me in school, or 3 at St. John. But she said to me one time, like, it was after I graduated, but I was still in contact with you guys, and she's like, yeah, I don't stay in touch with my friends. She's like, it was different. And even now, she is closer to you guys, like probably knows more about what's going on in your life than she does with her friends that she knew in high school. And she said even when she was in high school, she was like, I knew when you were in ninth grade, like that you had a better close-knit friendship than I did when I was a senior, and we had both just moved there. So we were kind of, getting new friend groups. But she was like, my class was different than that. Like we just didn't have that kind of close friendships, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, but
we were really lucky.
if you want to talk to us, Jenny, you can hang out with my friends.
Yeah, totally, Jenny.
And I
But
know
we
your
were
sister
lucky.
Teresa says the same thing. Lori's like, I just
Right.
want to be friends with your friends, Teresa.
I think Lori does think of as my friend group being her friend group as well. I don't think she really thinks of herself having her own friend group. She
Yeah.
just thinks about us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. So we're lucky. I think we
We
had
really were.
For
We
sure.
were blessed and lucky. So, okay, I think that's a good way to end our high school memories. That
I
was
will
just a
put
couple
some
years
pictures.
ago.
It'll be a surprise what pictures I choose, ladies. So
Oh, great.
I have to watch
my
it on
gosh.
YouTube to see what I choose.
There is no telling. I'll send you some pictures, Betsy.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I think that's it. So, are we good?
I think so.
Think
We're
so.
gonna-
Y'all want to say goodbye? Do y'all know how we end? Betsy,
No.
you go first, and Teresa and Amber follow from Betsy. Go, Betsy.
Okay. Good night, Sean. I love you.
Good night, Sean. I love you.
Say your own husband's name.
That's perfect.
Good night, Jonathan. I love you.
Good night, Bradley Cooper. I love you.